Good morning and welcome to our webinar on reading credit reports. I am Sherry Davidson, president of Davidson Realty. We have been selling real estate in St. Johns County for over 20 years. We're located in St. Augustine, Florida. Our presenter this morning is Jim Young. Jim is a mortgage loan officer with Southeast Mortgage. He is licensed by the state of Florida to originate mortgage loans. He started his mortgage career in 2001 at Southeast Mortgage's Atlanta headquarters and has recently opened up their first Florida office in St. Augustine. Jim has been married to Kristen, his college sweetheart, for 13 years, and they have 2 children. Caroline is 6 and Tripp is 2. If you have any questions this morning, please type them in during the webinar and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. Jim has a great presentation this morning for you, and I look forward to hearing it.
Thanks, Sherry. It's great to be back, and I hope everyone listening is having a great day. I'm excited to continue our series on credit reports and your credit score. Today we're going to be looking at how you read your credit report, once you understand what's in it, how to look for errors, then disputing those errors if you find any, and then finally tips to improve your score. Now when you get your report, it's going to primarily be broken into 4 major categories. The first category will be your identifying information. The second category will be the credit history, which will include all the accounts that you have currently in your file. The third category will be public records, which would include bankruptcies, tax liens, stuff like that. And then the fourth would be inquiries. So let's jump right into this. Let's look at the identifying information section. This section of the report will contain information about you, like your name, your social security number, any past addresses, your present address, your date of birth, your driver's license number, your employer's name, and your spouse's name. Now, in many reports, you might see various spellings of your name, but don't be alarmed, because in many cases, creditors get that information wrong and report it inaccurately. Since that name has become associated with your credit file, it typically cannot be removed unless it is genuinely represents an account that you didn't open. Now, as you read through this section, make sure there aren't any addresses you don't recognize. If you find some, this may be an indication that an identity thief has opened a new credit account in your name and is having the bill sent to a location you don't know about. Also, make sure your social security number and driver's license number is correct and that your middle initial is correct. A lot of times, persons with similar names show up on other people's credit reports. Next is the credit history. This is the section that typically contains the most information and also has the most room for error. Unfortunately, it is also one of the most confusing sections on the report to read. In this section, you will find the name of each creditor along with the account numbers for each line of credit you hold with them. It will also include information like the date the account was opened, the kind of credit, names of other people on the account, the total loan amount, how much you owe, the average monthly payment, and the status of the account. Is it open, active, inactive, closed, paid, etc.? Generally, it will also state the date that the creditor last reported and your credit payment history. Do you make your payments on time? Have you had any lates, or is that your account delinquent? Now, in most cases, the reporting agencies use abbreviations and codes to communicate the above-mentioned facts. For instance, your status might be represented with a single letter, such as O for open, R for revolving, I for installment, and even M for mortgage. Your type of account might also be represented by a single letter, which could be I for individual, J for joint, A for authorized user, C for cosigner, and S for shared. Now, A for authorized user may indicate a parent that has a credit card that allows her son or daughter to use that account, and his name would be there, even though the account's not in his name. You'll also find your pay history in this section, and it'll be rated on a scale of 1 to 10. with an R1 or I1 or even M1 representing the highest score.
Jim, could I ask you one question there?
Sure.
Could you explain what the shared account might mean?
A shared account could potentially mean by, let's say you have a man and a woman that aren't married.
Okay.
It could potentially be that. Or say a mother and a daughter that are both on the account.
Thank you. I just didn't understand that one.
Let's now look for potential red flags that you might find in this section. There are so many things that could be wrong in this section that it is hard to list them all. First and foremost, you want to make sure that you don't see any accounts that are completely unfamiliar to you. If you do, you will want to work on having them removed from your report immediately. You also want to look for small mistakes that could be just as detrimental to your credit. For instance, is there an old account that should be closed that is listed as open or active? This could simply be a clerical error, and you may need to contact your creditor and ask for the account to be officially closed. Now, a common problem that we see today is identity thieves calling creditors and having them added as authorized users on other people's accounts. It is very important that you examine the types of accounts in your report to make sure unauthorized users are not listed. Let's now look at the public records section. In this section of your credit report, you don't want to see anything. You want it to be completely blank. Now, if for some reason it's not blank, it either means that you have had some financial problems in the past or that someone has stolen your identity and created problems in your name. This section will list any bankruptcies that are 7 or fewer years old, any judgments, any tax liens, and if you've missed alimony or child support payments. You might also see credit accounts that have gone delinquent and are currently in collections in this section. If this section appears on your credit report, please examine it closely to determine whether or not the information is actually correct. Now, the last part of your report will be the inquiries. This section could potentially be the longest section of your credit report as it contains the names and information of all the potential creditors who have requested to view your credit file in the last 90 days. Now, these inquiries are divided into 2 categories. The first would be hard inquiries. These inquiries come from creditors where you have initiated the relationship. An example would be where you have applied for a credit card, where you're applying for a new job, or you're opening a non-credit account at a doctor's office or dentist. Secondly, you would find soft inquiries. Now, these come from creditors who are looking to send out mass mailings to pre-approved candidates. The soft inquiries do not affect your credit score at all. Note, this section won't generally contain any information that would tip you off to a possible identity thief. Now, let's look at a sample TransUnion credit report. I've broken this into 2 sections, or actually 3 sections. The bottom will be definitions. The top section is actually defining what each piece of information is, and then the middle section would be something from an actual credit report. Up top, when you look at trade definitions, you'll see number 1 is where you'll find the account name. Number 2 is where you'll find the account number. Number 3 is ECOA, which would represent the ownership designation. Number 4 is your subcode, which would represent the kind of business you're dealing with, and then that business's subscriber number to the reporting agency. Number 5 would represent the type of collateral or loan type. Number 6 represents the date that that account was opened. Number 7 represents the last date that that account was reported to by the agency. Number 9 would show a date if you'd closed that account out. Number 9 would be your high credit, which represents the highest amount you ever owed on that account. Number 10 would be your maximum credit limit, which is the maximum amount that you could actually borrow from that account. Number 11 is the balance on the date of your last reporting from that account holder. Number 12 would be the terms of the account, which would represent how many months you have left to pay it, what your payment is per month, and how often you have to pay it. 13 would show any past due amounts there. If you're past due, it's going to show the past due amount. Number 14 represents remarks. This would be remarks where a creditor wants to put something on your file. 15 is max delinquency. That would represent the date on which your max level of delinquency on that account occurred. Number 16 would be the amount MOP. This represents the dollar amount of consumers' maximum delinquency and then the payment rating. Number 17 is PayPat. PayPat basically is a pattern or rating over time. 18A is MO, which represents the number of months being summarized. 18B represents the number of times somebody's been late in a 30, 60, or 90-day period. And the 19 MOP would represent the type of account and the payment rating. Now, if you look down to the report example, which would be something that you might actually see on your credit report, again, number 1 here is ABC Bank. That's the name of the account. Number 2 would be the account number. Number 3, I don't know if you can see it, but there's an I there. That represents that you own that account individually. It's an individual account. That person is the only person on the account. I. Number 4, you see a B and then some numbers. The B would represent a bank, and then the numbers after B is the subscriber number that they use to communicate with the reporting agency. Number 5 is the collateral or loan type. As you can see, this is a loan for an automobile. Number 6, 8 of 2002 was the date that this account was opened. Number 7 is 1 of 2010. So it reported in January of 2010, when was the last time that ABC Bank reported to the agency on this particular account. Number 8 would be a closed date. Obviously, this account is still open, so there's nothing listed there. Number 9 would be the high credit limit, or the highest you ever owned on this account. It says 16.9. Now, this is an installment note loan, so number 10 is blank. Since it's not a credit card, there's no available credit. He's just paying this down, so that's blank.
Now, would that highest credit be for the entire length of the loan, even if it was, say, 15 years ago?
Correct.
It doesn't. It's not like a shot in time. This isn't like a 3-year report. It's
right.
Okay.
That's correct. So whatever, like on this one is an installment loan, which would be a car loan, and he bought the car for $16,900. So that's his high. He owed that. That's the highest amount he's ever owned. And number 10 would represent a credit limit. Like a credit card doesn't have a credit limit because he's just paying that loan down. So now it shows he owes $12,009 on it.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Moving on, number 12. Which is the terms. As you can see there, it's a 60-month term, and his monthly payment, he pays it monthly, and his payment is $282 a month. 13 would be a past due amount. He's never been past due, so there's nothing there. Number 14 would be where ABC Bank would make any remarks on the file. He's been a good client. He's made his payments on time, so there's nothing negative to report, so there's nothing in the remarks there. Now, if there were something in the remarks there, it would typically be where either the account holder has disputed something in his file for that particular account, or he may have been delinquent at some point and cut a deal with ABC Bank to catch up those payments. So that particular agreement would be listed right there in the remarks section, number 14.